Namaste, Dr. Imya Krishnan.
Namaste, this is Dr. Rajkumar.
Today we will have to discuss certain things about nutrition which public is totally confused about in the present scenario.
Yeah.
One thing which is nutritional deficiency, people believe that there are lot many diseases which are emerging today by nutritional deficiency. They even think that diabetes, diseases like diabetes and many other diseases, metabolic errors and directly vitamin deficiencies can cause malnutrition, iodine deficiency causing thyroid diseases. So it is like the nutrient deficiency is considered to be a major cause of many diseases today
Yeah,
in the present
yes.
scenario. What is your opinion about
Yeah.
it?
Modern researches or modern way of doing research, it has proved that uh, so many deficiencies our body is lacking certain proteins, certain fats, or increase of fats or proteins or minerals or vitamins. All these are causing diseases. So actually, in Ayurvedic science, which is a holistic science, it has the whole body is explained with basic functional units. So, when a function is explained, we will be able to assess the structural elements taking part in it and what all mechanisms are happening inside to perform that function. The same way, food is also explained with functional units. Functional units, so we will be easily able to identify which food is going to affect which function. So when a function is corrected or dysfunction or malfunction is corrected, all the structural elements taking part in that function and all the mechanisms. It's not like one protein is doing a function. When a function is performed, so many proteins will be taking part, fat will be taking part, carbohydrate, energy resource is needed, minerals, vitamins, so many things are needed and it will be taking part in all these mechanisms. For example, muscle contraction. So you need so many minerals, vitamins like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, vitamin D, or you need B vitamins, and the actin, myosin. They are proteins. When they cross over, muscle contraction happens. So protein is implementing the executing the action of muscle contraction. For lubrication, fat is required. For energy production, glucose is required. So for a function, there are so many mechanisms taking place, and all these minerals, vitamins, fat, protein, carbohydrate. So if we give some protein, give some fat, give some carbohydrate, muscle contraction will not happen. Or if we give calcium, if we give um, B vitamins, muscle contraction will not happen. It's not a grinding machine or it's not like a mill. So body has to produce, body has to implement according to the circumstance. Body will be uh, properly functioning or there will be dysfunction. So based on that, when body is identified with functional units and food is also identified with functional units, uh, dysfunction that is happening, we can identify with the cause mechanisms, and it is not like it's deficiency of one protein or vitamin or mineral that is causing that dysfunction. In Ayurvedic science, there are definite rules like how much or there are several foodstuffs are explained like cereals, proteins or pulses, mm,
Vegetables,
meat, vegetables, fruits, and several liquids like
dairy products.
dairy products, water, how to take water even, and properties of water or functional units in water. When it is boiled, when it is not boiled, or milk, butter, ghee, all these properties are functional units of these foodstuffs are explained, and uh, what will be functional unit means what will be its action when it is consumed in proper way in the body. It is not outside the body that this has got this many minerals or this many vitamins, proteins, etc. But how they will be acting inside. All fats are not alike. if you consume oil, so gingerly oil is different from other sunflower
Coconut
oil
oil.
and coconut oil. So its nature is explained. Nature means functional
Yeah.
nature is explained, and with that functional nature, we will be assessing the foodstuff as well as the body, and when we are giving according to the body status, it will be implementing its proper function, and
Functions.
all these functions will be made normal. Not only this nature, there are so many other factors also, how it is processed,
Right.
with which all other foodstuffs it is being consumed, like spices, fat, sufficient salt. So other what all are adjuvants, those are also assessed, and according to one's habitat, so
Digestion.
impact of that place, humid place or seasonal impact, considering all these things, and the status of the subject who is consuming that, how to consume and when to consume, when the digestion is over and when you are ready for the next food. All these things are explained. So, and it is a very important thing is that you should not consume. The Acharya told that ragat napya vijnanat, by desire as well as by
Lack of knowledge.
ignorance, you should not consume food. You should be always assessing yourself and your body status and nature of cereals, nature of pulses, nature of
Vegetables.
fats, nature of vegetables, all these
Fruits.
things, fruits, meat, if they are consuming, and after drink also, means after consuming wheat diet, what liquid
We
has
should.
to be consumed. That much very specific, and in a functional body, how to assess that and how to normalize. Hidashana, it is mentioned as Hidahara. Hidahara means Ashana Mashidam, Samams Chaiva Thadun,
Prakratim stave.
Pragratim Sthabedi, Vishmams Cha Samikarodi.
Samikaroti.
If there is any dysfunction also, it will be corrected, as well as it will be maintaining the homeostasis. So nutrition is not based on proteins or fat or other vitamins, minerals, etc. It is based on the wholesome way or holistic way, which you are selecting the foodstuffs, you are
And
consuming the
applying it in the
its
body.
quantity, its combinations, and according to the status
Status.
of the subject, how it is consumed, that causes the
So
nutrition.
people are very much obsessed by analyzing their macro and
Yeah.
micronutrients level in the blood, and they will be telling doctor my vitamin D is low,
Mhm.
B12 is low, other thing is low, calcium is low. So people should definitely know that there are subclinical and clinical impact. Subclinical impact is what is observed in the blood report. Clinical impact, if not there, there is no relevance for these reports. And if clinical impact is there, as per the true means of evaluating a disease status in the patient, the best means, as he told, is to understand why and how this is happening. So it only means that except for the people who are living in very poor nutritional status and economic status, all of us, all the people who are in moderate financial status and upper status, both of them are equally not prone to get any malnutrition as per a diet which we are choosing and eating, except then poor assimilation of the nutrition can happen by several factors like celiac disease, agni dushti, the digestive anomalies, and the metabolic imbalance which can, and the hormonal dysfunction like hypothyroid. All these can cause impaired metabolism, impaired digestion, impaired assimilation of the nutrients. So ultimately blood might show some deficiency in these nutrients, but their correction is required for the underlying mechanisms, why it is happening so, which can be understood only by eliciting a very detailed history of the subject, who is showing this deficiency, what kind of diet, what kind of regimen, what kind of exercise, if he is doing any sort of exercise, what time he is doing, how he is managing other diseases, if he is having any other sort of diseases, what kind of diseases he is having, and how it is getting managed. Now one important aspect is that most of the drugs which are prescribed in modern medicine can impair the digestion and
Absorption
assimilation,
of.
absorption of the nutrients. So it is really important that what all kinds of drugs these people are consuming for long period for other diseases.
Nowadays, we can see most of the people are having vitamin B12 deficiency
Yeah,
and vitamin D deficiency.
yeah.
Though they are taking so much food,
Non-veg also,
and
non-veg.
according to the what they are telling, they have been taking all these nutrients and other nutritional foodstuffs. Then also they are having vitamin D deficiency and vitamin B12 deficiency, and they will be taking injections for that.
They will be taking excess nutrients. So this one important thing that repeated, I mean before the digestion of the previous meal, if people are taking frequent small quantities of diet as advised by nutrition experts or doctors, this can also impair the very process of digestion, and it can result in the formation of many toxic chemicals inside their gut and immune system, which can also secondarily and primarily impair the assimilation of nutrients by the emergence of certain diseases. So nowadays it is a trend to eat
And
small quantity of fruits,
yeah.
to
And
substitute
people
diet
are
by
obsessed with
fruits.
these lab values. They think that body is normal functioning is normal lab values.
Yeah, and
And whenever they see calcium deficiency or vitamin D deficiency, they
yeah,
immediately start consuming vitamin D,
vitamin
or
D,
they
right?
will go and take injections for vitamin
Injections.
B12.
Yeah,
So it's a mechanism. So many mechanisms are taking place, and even after overfeeding, they are getting deficiency. Means it's
related to
it's not
nutritional deficiency.
deficiency. It is actually something else.
Assimilation.
Actually, vitamin D is not from food. 80% we are getting from sunlight, and it is processed in liver. Hydroxylation is happening in liver and then in kidneys. So if a liver disease patient comes with vitamin D deficiency or calcium deficiency,
It is
and by
shown.
consuming calcium tablets or vitamin D tablets, you are not going to correct that. When you take calcium and when you check blood, there will be increased calcium in the blood.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that his calcium got corrected or calcium functions are being properly conducted. So this is a
Stupid thing only.
stupid thing only, that
Which is
whatever is deficient you need to add that. So iron is deficient, you give iron, or vitamin
calcium.
C is deficient, or they think that vitamin C, vitamin E are needed as
And the
antioxidants.
current trend is putting women on calcium tablets.
Hmm.
Women are taking calcium tablets from 30s itself by thinking that their bones will become
Brittle.
brittle and break and powder. So in such a case, by 60 years, the bones of all women who are not consuming
And
any
they will be very
calcium
small.
tablets will might have been broken and
Hmm.
powdered already.
Hmm.
So this calcium supplements which women are taking, calcium is having that inotropic effect. It can contract the smooth muscles of the heart. It can even result in a heart attack if it is being consumed continuously for a long period. So such things people are not getting exposed to. Anything, these are all supplements. These are not even foods. If through foods you are taking something excess, body has its innate mechanism to somehow digest, metabolize and excrete. But if you are taking it in an artificial mode as a chemical, what happens is it can impair the natural detoxifying mechanisms, natural digestion and metabolism. So I think this is one major thing. And people also think that deficiency healing can happen by certain nutrients.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is now people are so much obsessed.
Hmm.
In fever, protein diet is to be taken.
Hmm.
There are now certain kinds of diet as we know, paleo diet, keto diet, so many different intermittent fasting, etc., etc.
Ayurveda
So
very well specifies that cereals are to be taken as main food, and all other additives should be in less quantity, and the predominant thing should be cereal,
cereals,
and that too very specific cereals
right?
like wheat,
Rice,
brown rice, etc. And it should not be vegetable predominant diet. Shaka avaranna bhuisham is not hita, what I explained before. And also people are more obsessed about
fiber
the
diet.
fiber diet. So wheat has sufficient fiber. This
Oats.
Brown rice has sufficient minerals and vitamins. So when you are consuming in the proper way only, all these get absorbed. And it will not be like when you consume, itself body has to absorb.
Right.
Body has certain conditions with which it can absorb easily, it can implement its functions easily. So it is according to the body status, according to the nature of the food, it will be, all proteins are not alike. When you consume protein, it will not become muscle or it will not become transport proteins. So body is deciding how to utilize it in various functions and various mechanisms.
Yeah. So this gym food is their
Mm.
protein-rich diet, which they are consuming, and this will they will be consuming sometimes after. I mean, before workout, they will be taking a heavy protein thing
Uh,
and going for workout. So they don't know how much the circulation
will
is
be
adversely
impeded.
impacted by this. Adverse digestion can even cause raised BP or arrhythmia, or some heart attack can happen by post consumption
People
exercise.
are also obsessed with this quantity also.
Yeah,
So this much protein has to be
yeah,
consumed.
yeah, right. So they will check in the
So these studies
chart.
they have done not inside the body or not in the dynamic situation of a human being. So everybody needs different quantities, or their metabolic necessities are different. Each
Yeah,
and every individual will be having different metabolic necessities. So if you give the same quantity of water to all adults, it will not be proper, right? So people are thinking that they should drink 3 liters of water, 4 liters of water. It's not like that. So certain people will be having more necessity for water. Some will be having their constitution, their makeup will be like that. So it is not like how much water to be consumed, with how much water the homeostasis is maintained is
maintain
more important.
digestion
So
is happening.
homeostasis maintained we can understand from his strength, his
Health
nourishment happening,
parameters, right?
health parameters, like even from urine output.
Yeah,
So if one is taking 4 liters of water and passing urine 10 times, 12 times is too much, and it can impair metabolism.
yeah.
And taking very less water, the urine will be dark colored and the quantity which he passes out will be very less also. In the same way, the fat, proteins, all the minerals or vitamins, whatever they are consuming, all these are micronutrients. It is called micronutrients. So it is needed only in very less quantity. So that quantity we cannot determine. Body is determining how much to be absorbed, how much is needed, how much is utilized. So all these are decided by the body. So we cannot think that this much protein is to be consumed daily, this much eggs are to be consumed for protein, for fat, this much things are to be consumed. Like that, we cannot as, assess body by part. In a disease status, the metabolic demands are different. So in fever status or infection when comes, the demands are different. So when you are giving the right diet in proper way, in proper time, naturally, without giving any iron or without giving any calcium, our all the micronutrients and macronutrients will be
Stabilized.
normalized, and homeostasis will be maintained. The most important thing is normalizing the homeostasis, or internal environment should be normalized. With we can assess with certain clinical parameters which is mentioned in Ayurvedic science.
Most of the chronic inflammation, acute and chronic inflammation, can cause malabsorption of nutrients. So this thing will be hardly detected. Most of the women and men also are having obesity in India at an age of starting from 45 years, or even now from 40 years. Metabolism is getting low very much. So in spite of eating too much, they are not doing exercise, they are having joint pains, and doctors advise them to give joint rest. So they are not climbing stairs, they are not jogging. They fear that their joints will break down when they do stair climbing or some dance or something, except for very few people who are having common sense and health conscious. Others, what they are doing, by 40 years they will stop activities, only walking. Most of the women, my grandmother used to sit on the floor, but my mother cannot sit on the floor. So this is how things are going down and down. Western medicine is telling people are getting more and more healthy and healthy, but a very simple example I am giving. Our old grandmothers were able to do things better than what our mothers are doing. And as far as our generation is concerned and our next generation is concerned, their activities are getting more and more limited. Why it is happening? So it is not that at 40 years when you move your joints are breaking down. I don't think that the medicine is advancing if such a phenomenon is happening. So the original thing what is happening, you should understand, if a disease is not getting reversed properly on time, you take it from me, it can cause acute and chronic deficiencies in your body. And that is not because of the impaired nutrition that this is happening. This is happening only because of what you call mismanagement of the diseases, and your diseases are not getting resolved. So this will emerge more free radicals. In modern language they call as free radicals. In our scientific language there are our own pathologies. I am not going into it. So finally what is happening is this nutrient deficiency, which is interpreted in a gross level, is originally because of some disease which is getting unresolved. So in fever status, the digestion has to be very easily digestible foods are to be taken to support the immune system in its function to ward off these adverse agents present in tissue and circulation. So it should not be heavy diet. Why and how is explained in Ayurvedic science. So like that, all the diseases are to be managed properly on time and reversed. And also this most of the times this old age people, they are on different supplements also apart from the excess. Most of the women are and men are taking milk in their old age. Milk has become so common, and they will be taking at night also most of the times. They consider it as a balanced diet, milk.
Also,
You know
oats
this.
and milk.
And this
Oats for
fiber
for
craving.
that they will get bowel motion easily.
Yeah.
So, bowel motion is again, there are so many mechanisms happening, and the final thing is smooth bowel motion. So, when you take fiber rich food or oats like thing, which is very dry, and when you
Colon
take it with
dryness.
milk in a at night, so that's not as per scientific perspective, from Ayurvedic scientific perspective, it is a very dangerous diet because it can cause impaired digestion, impaired metabolism, impaired circulation, and it can pave way for
Impaired
even heart attack,
peristalsis also.
impaired peristalsis. So bowel motion will again get interfered or impaired
Yeah.
with that. So mitahara is what is mentioned, hidahara and midahara. Midahara is also anupahatya prakriti, jaram gachadi. Without affecting the homeostasis, if it is getting digested, that is the quantity with which one has to consume.
So this nature of foods, actually millets, ragi, all these are very unhealthy foods. Nowadays millets are being promoted like anything. All these will there is only one science of life which explains the nature of biological behavior of foods in the human body in accordance to the condition of the human body at the time of consumption, and that is Ayurveda and Ayurvedic science alone. We will be just surprised to find that Ayurvedic science has already done basic and applied research in all the food materials that we are consuming. Let it be carbohydrate, I mean starchy foods, food grains, or just what he said, proteins,
All
pulses,
these are
all
explained
kinds
with
of pulses.
basic functional things,
Basic functional
units.
biology, cause, mechanism, effect, like how these things are going to interact in a healthy status. These things are explained. So, and their biological behavior with properties, nature of foods are explained in Ayurvedic science.
So millets
So,
are different from brown rice and wheat.
yeah, people are scared
All
of.
these are cereals, but they are different,
People
entirely
are,
different.
yeah.
And one is very much beneficial for the body, and other one is harmful to the body.
Correct. So this glycemic index is what is counted, and rice is considered
That's
to be
what,
a
blood values.
Varjya food, abandoned food. I feel so sad because red rice is the healthiest food. Red rice Raktashali in Ayurveda, it is considered to be the best nutrition for Indians. Indians are habituated to rice and wheat. Just like that, wheat is also habituated, wheat also can be habituated as a regular food. Only problem is wheat is hard to digest compared to red rice. So that is the only difference. But wheat is also a wholesome food. And all other things like millets, ragi, all these are people are substituting for
They are
rice and wheat.
habituating. Once in a
Yeah,
while, if they take,
it's fine.
it won't do
Yeah,
harm. But when they are habituating,
it
the
can
whole
cause
mechanism will be impaired.
indigestion. Digestion can be disturbed. Peristalsis can be disturbed. Metabolism can be impaired. Circulation can be impaired. You can get, these are dryness inducing food. So they can induce dryness in your cells,
And difficult
colon,
to digest also.
difficult to digest, and you may get too much of gas. Because of gas, you may get other problems like hernia. You may get other many other diseases,
Hemorrhoids.
hemorrhoids and other like conditions, chronic constipation. You may even get a heart attack also. People who are eating sprouts regularly, sprouts are considered to be something which is to be abandoned, not to be eaten at all. But there are people considering protein
It
and
is habituated
habituated.
because cardiologists recommend
Nutrition experts
nutrition,
are recommending for their heart health and omega
proteins.
3 fatty acids.
Hmm.
People are consuming fish oil. So, fish by nature it can cause secretory
That's what I
activities.
told. Ayurvedic science is not considering based on the structures, chemical bonds, how many saturated bonds are there, how many atoms are there, how many molecules are there. It's not based on that. How many functional elements, how many functional units are there, or functional means which becomes active inside the body. So based on that, how we can manage the homeostasis, how we can acid base balance can be made. It is not by giving acid in alkaline situation or alkali in
Acid.
acidic situations. So it is not a chemical reaction that's happening. So it's happening inside the body as a part of maintaining the homeostasis or internal environment.